Good evening, good morning, and good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Excited to get started with our second live broadcast. We're really excited to share some information about our Thanksgiving holiday. We've got Employee of the Month information. We're going to feature a new state this month, and we're going to talk a little bit about the visa bulletin and PTE updates. We've got a lot of exciting stuff that we're going to go over. If you're with us today, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love it if you drop in the chat which country you're joining us from. We have candidates from over 100 different countries that are in our pipeline, and we love to see where you guys are joining us from. And also, all during the broadcast, you'll be able to post questions in the chat. We'll try to get to your question. If we don't, we'll make sure that you get some follow-up afterwards. And I'm going to be joined by many of my colleagues today that are excited to talk to all of you and, answer your questions and share a lot of information with you. So the first thing that we're going to get started on today is our Thanksgiving holiday. So in the United States, we have a national holiday called Thanksgiving. It's always celebrated on the 4th of November. It's a holiday where we like to get together with family and friends and give thanks for everything we're thankful for. We have a lot of traditional foods involved. It got started actually in 1621, I believe, when the Pilgrims and Native Americans met for a harvest festival. And it's kind of how we got started. The United States got started. So it's very exciting. And I'm joined today to talk more about it by some of my colleagues, Miss Amy Blom and Courtney Wilson and John Santana. And we're also joined by one of our candidates in the United States, Rosina. Hi, Rosina. We're happy to have you on the show today. So I'm going to ask some questions and we're going to have a little chat about the Thanksgiving holiday. So traditionally, there's a lot of different foods that are served and it kind of revolves around the food a lot. We like to eat. And so let's talk about what our favorite foods are. Who would like to get started? Favorite Thanksgiving foods?
I can go ahead and get started. My favorite Thanksgiving food is actually a recipe that came from my aunt. So our entire family uses it. It's a broccoli casserole. So it's something that we've made from when I was young all the way up until now. It's really fun. It's something that we incorporate every Thanksgiving. We always top the casserole off with Cheez-Its. So it was a fun activity to do when I was younger. But it's really nice to kind of keep that recipe going. And hopefully, when I have a family of my own one day, I'll be able to kind of pass that recipe through as well. Amy, what is your favorite Thanksgiving meal?
My favorite is one of the most basic dishes, but it is mashed potatoes and gravy. I feel like my grandma always she always made them, and I don't know what she puts in the mashed potatoes. I need to figure that out. It makes them, they're salty and just buttery and creamy with some gravy on top. It truly is my favorite dish.
I was going to say, I feel like it has to have a lot of butter. Mashed potatoes need butter.
I could go next. So my favorite Thanksgiving dish, pretty non-traditional in America, excuse me, very Dominican based. So it is actually called empanadas. So there's a flour and they're filled with whatever your choice is, chicken, beef, or cheese. And then they're actually deep fried. So it's something that we look forward to every year. And it's very delicious every single year as well.
That sounds really delicious too. And Rosina, is this how many years have you, or how long have you been in the United States? And can you share a little bit about your experience with Thanksgiving here? Because I'm sure that's a new one for you.
Yes, this is really different and a very beautiful tradition, I must say, because everybody gathers with their own family. They enjoy their family time. So I really like this tradition. And what we are going to do in this Thanksgiving is I have seen mostly people are, having turkey in their homes. Like they just cook, they just love to have turkeys. So what we are we used to like is chicken. It's most like kind of the same taste. So we used to have it's our tradition. We called it charga. It's a little different, but like we used to have filled with yummy spices, like lots of hot spices like paprika and the other one. And you can like grilled it or bake it or deep fried it. So it's up to you. But we used to grill it. So I think like we all love it so much.
That sounds delicious. I want to come to your house for Thanksgiving too.
Oh,
I
I
love
would love
that.
that, guys.
So we have a lot of traditions in the United States around Thanksgiving, which Rosina, I'm sure that you've noticed. Everybody kind of does their own thing. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about what is your favorite Thanksgiving tradition. Mine personally, I guess I kind of like just the gratefulness around the holiday. I'm very much about gratefulness and being thankful, and content with the things that I have. And my family, and I know there's probably other families that do this and it might be cliche, but we usually like spend a little bit of time going around and everybody says something that they're thankful for. So that's kind of my favorite thing. But John, do you want to share what your favorite thing is around Thanksgiving?
Yes, so my family, we've always done this since I was little as well. It's about being together a lot for Thanksgiving, for us being together as a family. So the whole time we don't eat dinner until probably about 6 or 7 p.m., and everybody has something that they have to make. So, we're all in the kitchen cooking. Everybody kind of has their hand in the pot. So, it's always exciting, when the food comes is to get to try and we vote on who had the best dish. So
Well, what
that's
do you
always,
make?
well, this year I'm not making the empanadas because I'm leaving
Okay.
that to my mom, but I might make the mashed potatoes this year or the mac and cheese. We'll see.
Amy might be coming over to try your mashed potatoes.
I'll make sure to put extra gravy on it for you.
Love that. Amy or Courtney?
Yeah, one of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions is I usually will run the turkey trot that Cincinnati hosts every single year. So it is a 10K and they just added in a 5K. I usually do it with my friends. So it's nice to be able to start the day off with all my friends that are close to me. And then I make my way to my mom's and we watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade together, which is hosted in New York. And a fun fact is one of my mom's really good family friends, her son actually led his band through the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade last year. So it was really meaningful to kind of get to watch him. And, like John and Erica have both mentioned, it's always nice to be surrounded by people that are in your family and people that you love. And so I always try to spend it with everyone around me.
I love that. What about you, Amy?
So I'm not a turkey trotter, but my whole family is. So everyone always wakes up, they go do the turkey trot, and then I stay at home with my grandparents. And I just kind of help them with brunch. And, everybody normally football's on or the pregame. And then in the other room, there's the Macy's Day Parade. So I normally started off just like a lazy morning, spending time with my family while everybody else is out running. Yeah.
Awesome. Rosina, what do you think about all of this? Do you have a favorite part of Thanksgiving yet? Oh, it looks like we're being joined by Emmy Lou too. Sorry, Emmy Lou, I believe, is one of our working nurses as well. But go ahead, Rosina. Hi.
Yes, I think that in our culture, like we used to live in extended sort of families. So, everybody is always be with us. So there is no specific or special day in which like we have a get together. But since like we are here in United States, so I do have families, but they are living so far, like Los Angeles and like Chicago. My sister is there. So of course we cannot travel for them like and have a get together, but what we used to do is we just select one person's home and we have kind of like potluck. So we used to have different kind of things and we just enjoy this day if we are having off and we are not working. Otherwise, we just enjoy the holiday pay.
Yeah.
And then,
That's a great idea. Now you make a really good point too. There's a lot of people that do Friendsgiving because maybe their family doesn't live close, or maybe they don't like their family, but probably not. But they will have their friends over and have different like get-togethers with their friends as well, just a time to be together. I think that's really good. And Emmy Lou, where are you joining us from?
Hi, I'm actually from New Jersey here in Freehold. So I I came from Philippines. I
Okay.
was here in the United States last 2022. So this is my second time I will celebrating my Thanksgiving. So we spend it usually in my relatives up north, northern side of New Jersey. And we were just also like the other Miss Amy and Courtney. They're watching Thanksgiving Macy's parade. We do that too, and then reflecting and just being grateful for the blessings. And we get spend time together as a family. So it's a new occasion as well here for me because I'm a Filipino, so we don't have that occasion. But here I was it's a good celebration, being having being taking time to take to reflect and being grateful for everything that you have received, the blessings, everything. Something like that. It's a
Yeah.
nice occasion, special occasion.
Like just a good time to get together, right? Like just an
Yes.
excuse to get everybody together and eat. Now,
Mhm.
have you started cooking any traditional American Thanksgiving foods, or do
Oh.
you normally cook the Filipino food for Thanksgiving?
Oh, I actually didn't cook Filipino food. Last year I made a cornbread and
Mm.
green bean casserole,
Oh yeah.
which is yummy. But
Yeah.
to this year, I mean, this coming Thanksgiving, I will be making broccoli casserole, which I
Oh,
just purchased the ingredients yesterday, and I'm planning also. Uh, Turkey is also good, but I have a ham, the one that I
okay.
will prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham is always a good one too. And you guys
Yeah.
like a lot of pork in the Philippines because I've been there a few times and so much like the lechon. You could do all the different
Like,
pork dishes probably.
oh
For
yeah, they are my relatives are ordering food. That's why I kind of want to make something that is different because that's the one that they always order. Filipino food like the lechon and other beef stew, So to be different, I will make the one from here,
yeah.
the usual food that they are preparing.
I love it. It'll be like a fusion. That's like what Rosina does too. You mix in a little bit of American food, but then your cultural ones. And Courtney's favorite
Yeah.
is broccoli casserole. So we'll have to hear how your broccoli casserole turns out.
Yeah, I hope it's gonna turn good. 'Cause, yeah, I'm just following the recipe online, and it was my fiance who requested it.
Oh,
And he's a chef, and it's kind of like a pressure on me because he knows how to
a
cook,
lot
right?
of pressure.
So it's but I want to try. So
Yeah.
I hope.
That's great. I love that. I'm hosting Thanksgiving for my family and my husband's family this year, and I'm making everybody bring food. But I always feel like it's like high pressure because my family likes to cook, and it's like
Yeah.
everyone's judgmental. If you make like your mom's recipe, like is it going to turn out like your mom's recipe? So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it all goes well.
Yeah, you're right.
So nobody has mentioned Black Friday yet. Does anybody want to talk about what Black Friday is?
Oh,
Do you know about it, Lou?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started like just online. I mean, because I haven't tried going like midnight going to the stores, but I just started online buying some stuff. So, I just don't know because I just last November, although this is not related to Thanksgiving, so during the Halloween season, I watched this movie Thanksgiving. So, the stampede that happened and then, the horror and kind of thing that happened.
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
I said, oh my goodness. So you're probably afraid to go out for Black Friday now.
I kind of like thinking about it because I feel like that's gonna happen. That all people are like waiting for the store to open, and because of the prices are crazy,
Hmm.
they're all on sale. So
Yeah.
Yeah, people tend to camp out on the streets. I feel like nowadays it's maybe not as crazy as it used to be, but there used to be really long lines. People would set up tents. My family and I used to always go to the mall. It was a really, really big deal. But I love Black Friday shopping. We always go, my mom and I, and we'll usually head up Target since that's our favorite store.
Oh, hey, John's back. Rosina, have you experienced Black Friday yet? Have you done any shopping on Black Friday?
Yes, and I would go with the other lady. She told about the online shopping. So I also don't like to stand in a queue, like waiting till the store gets open. So uh, and since I cannot compare the actual prices, maybe they just increase the price and show the deal that they are discussing. So I
You
don't know,
might be
like,
right.
but it's a shopping mania because everybody is fan of doing shopping, and it's like Friday is in hype. So
Yeah.
so I just do that, and we can do like Christmas gifts like a little bit early, so why not to utilize this Black Friday, I must say. So I have also did a lot of online shopping, and the parcels might be coming on the way, so I can present it to my family, to my friends. So I think that it's like it's really nice to experience this holiday season, in fact, because everything is back to back. You are having Halloween. When Halloween ends, then you are getting ready for the Thanksgiving and the Black Friday, and then you are decorating your house for Christmas and everything. So we really enjoy the like October, November, December, like the end of the year. It's really awesome. Like it's something like we must enjoy, and we have to uh, involve our family, friends, and everybody. So it's really nice. It's really nice to be a part of this.
That's a really good way to put it, Rosina. I think you wrapped it up really well. And I do think there's a thing that's now called Cyber Monday. So for all of the online deals, and I'm with you. I prefer to stick online, and then I tell my family you can't open any packages from now until Christmas if they arrive.
Yeah.
Gonna hide all the packages.
Hmm. It's
Well, it
very
was
hard to keep the surprises for the family because you keep ordering a little ahead of time, and then like everybody is everybody is aware about their own gifts, so it's kind
right.
of breaking your surprise too.
I love that. And thank you from everyone in the chat who's wishing us the happy Thanksgiving. It's so good to have all of you joining. And I hope that all of you make it to the United States soon to get to experience Thanksgiving in the United States and our Christmas season. And Emilu and Rosina, it was so nice to have you join us today. Any last thoughts from anyone before we wrap up? I know we have a special message from one of our international recruiters from Jamaica, Melissa. She's actually in Australia right now doing a solo trip, which is really exciting, but she left everyone a happy Thanksgiving message. Emilu, I think your mic is on mute. I don't know
Oh,
if you,
sorry.
oh, there you go.
I just wish everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the occasion and spend, quality time with your family and friends.
Thank you, Emilu. And thanks, Rosina. Thank you both for joining today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so
Happy
much.
Thanksgiving.
And I would like to thank Passport USA for helping us a lot in settling here. And I would especially like to thank my IES Dedra. She was just like my family. So I was
Aw.
not missing my family when I was here. So it's really nice to be a part of your team. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Rosina. Deirdre's amazing, and it's our pleasure. And this is one of the reasons why we love our jobs here, and we're thankful to have our jobs at Health Carousel to be able to help make a difference and help you guys make it to the United States. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
All right, I
This is
believe maybe we
Melissa
have a
again.
message. There we
I'm here
go.
to share with you something that I'm grateful for this Thanksgiving. As an international recruiter, I'm a first point of contact for healthcare professionals that are looking to kickstart or continue their journey to the United States. So I get to hear all of your stories, and I get to share with you how Health Carousel International can help you through your circumstances. I also get to hear great feedback from you guys as you go through the stages, and I also get really awesome emails and messages of gratitude from my healthcare professionals, which definitely do make my day. So I am thankful for you. So, what are you grateful for this Thanksgiving? Take a moment to share with us something that you're grateful for throughout your nursing journey. You can share a photo or a video on your socials, and of course, tag us, and then we will share our favorites. Happy Thanksgiving!
I love that video from Melissa and hope she's having an amazing time in Australia. I can't wait to hear all about it. What a cool trip. So next up, our next segment, we're going to focus on our employee of the month, which we're really excited about. And I am joined by one of my colleagues today, Miss Presley. She is one of our international employee supervisors, and she is one of the employees here who support all of our nurses once they make it to the United States. And so I'm excited to have her share with us. Presley, can you just tell us a little bit about what Employee of the Month is around here at Health Carousel International?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm excited to be part of this segment here. And the Employee of the Month is beyond a title, right? It's our individuals, our healthcare professionals that go beyond, above and beyond for their patients, for their teammates at their facility, and also contributing to our mission, which is compassion, teamwork, and providing quality healthcare to anyone in the U.S. And so it's beyond the title, and it's part of their personality to always give out as much as they can, to be the best, to provide the best of the best in the healthcare industry. So I'm super excited that we get to honor our nominations and then also to announce to you all the Employee of the Month for September and October. But before we honor them, we definitely want to honor those that wanted to participate in our Employee of the Month. So for September, we have Diane D., Mandalia, Mary Joyce, Sherwin, Jay, Anna Marie, Carla Jane, Karen Grace, Josephine, Grace, Betchy, Kim, Maria Catherine, Alyssa Ain, Minyi, Jennifer, Ayaka, Luigi, Mary Wynn Rose, Ma Josefa, Mark, Pauline, Maria Pauline, Emmanuel, Maria Verna, Kenny, Rosary Joy, Majanelle Grace, Fatima, Louis Isabel, and Jamie Rose. So these were our nominees for the month of September and October. And we like to thank each of these individuals for always going beyond to be a great staff at their facility and also to provide great health care to their patients and also indirectly providing to our community, which is compassion, teamwork, and our mission. So now we're excited to announce our September Employees of the Month, and it's Aika P. She came from the Philippines and now based in New Jersey. She's a registered nurse. And then our next Employee of the Month for September is Sherwin P., also a registered nurse, came from the Philippines and is now based in Washington. Now let's announce our October Employees of the Month. And it is Emmanuel P., a registered nurse also from the Philippines and now in Florida. And then we have Mark C., a med tech from the Philippines, now based in Pennsylvania. And we have the honor of two of our Employees of the Month, one from the Employee of the Month of September joining us today, and also one from October joining us today. And we have Aika and Emmanuel. Please introduce yourself and let us know what it means to be the Employee of the Month and how your transition has been in the US. Who would like to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
Thanks, Aika.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Aika once again, and thank you, Presley. It was a nice introduction. Once again, I'm here in New Jersey. I've been here for 2 years and 4 months now. I signed up with Health Carousel Philippines year 2020, and just like that, in 2 years, I'm here. Easy peasy. So, my transition here, I would say it's not as tough as I expected it to be. I think one of the reasons is that Health Carousel prepared us so well in coming here, right? We did a lot of mini exams. We watched videos on how to, communicate, to transition well, especially that you are transferring in a completely unfamiliar world. You know, differences in culture, language, healthcare system is very different, but um, I didn't find myself really transitioning that bad. I think also one of the reasons is that I worked in the Philippines for like 10 years, in Saudi Arabia too. And my work there, my hospital there was internationally recognized. Everything that we're using in there, almost everything, the machines, the equipments are pretty much the same in here. So I would say that was a big help to me too. Yeah, and being an employee of the month, it's very rewarding. I feel like everything that I did here, I did my best in, giving quality of care to the patients, and it was recognized by my manager, by you guys, and I'm very grateful about it.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Aika.
Thank you
Congratulations.
so much.
Emmanuel? Oh, you're on mute, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, we can't hear you.
Emmanuel, I believe your mic is on mute.
Yeah. Can you
No.
hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, hi, hi. Um, so I've been a nurse for 2 decades now. Being recognized like employee of the month, employee of the year, actually. Um, it's not something new to me. I've been working in the Philippines, in Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi, Singapore, and as you can see in my resume, it's like always associate of the year, employee of the year. So this is not something new to me. Um, but it's so sweet that it came to me this month of October because we are like victim of the storm Helene and Milton here, and I recently got a new blessing. Um, I, I, my my wife gave labor, and I have a 4-month-old baby. So I thought my priority would be, like it will change a lot, but it's a good thing that em- my coworkers still recognize me on my work, on what I do. And the Health Carousel has been very supportive of me. Um, I'm actually with Health Carousel since 2009 or 2011.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It is because after graduating back 2007, they actually went to my university and then recruited us. So I signed a contract with them, and unfortunately, the United States was like closed back then. So I have to work in different countries before coming to the US, like Singapore, Cleveland Clinic, Abu Dhabi, and
Can you
another.
share some encouragement with a lot of the folks on our show today are in the same position that you were back then,
Yeah,
where we're now in retrogression again?
so for them, just trust the process, just trust Health Carousel, and just because Health Carousel, I do feel that, even with my even with what I've been through, not only that, not only because of the time, but because I was diagnosed with a medical condition before coming to the US. They never let me go. Um, not not the health carousel actually gave me encouragement, helped me all through the way to be here in the US. So with that, I'm so grateful. I'm in the US now. I'm enjoying my family, my newborn daughter. Um,
Congratulations. That's
yeah,
amazing. What
thank
an
you. And
inspiration.
sorry,
And
I
such
can't
a
hear you.
story of resilience, Emmanuel. Like, I love to hear that. You pushed through and persevered. Um, that's incredible. And look how it's paid off. Over a decade,
Yeah,
it took you.
yeah.
And I hope everyone online today is hearing this story, because I know a lot of you are feeling a little discouraged. I've seen some comments where retrogression has kind of held you back, and you're in a waiting period. But this is exactly why we exist. And we've been through this process with Emmanuel and thousands of other nurses, and so we're not going to abandon you. Just like we stood by him, we're going to stand by you. So I really appreciate you sharing that story, and so much appreciate both of your service. I love the service that you both provided. I mean, you said you've been a nurse for over 20 years. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's incredible. And Aisa, thank you so much for your service as well. And we're so excited to have you here. Presley, do you have anything to add?
Yes, so to our September and October employees of the month, congratulations again, and this is well deserved.
Can I just interject?
Yes.
Sure.
For the people watching this video, my car was totaled and my apartment has been destroyed, but I'm still driving here in the States. Health carousel didn't leave me, to dry out on the street. So here I am, being thankful and grateful to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you,
It's
Emmanuel.
our honor to be with you, and I'm sorry that you've had to experience that. You are definitely an incredible inspiration to so many people. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And then to wrap it up, remember, being Employee of the Month isn't just about receiving an award. It's about striving to make a positive difference in the lives of others. And let's keep raising the bar and celebrating each other's successes. So thank you again for all of our participants and our award nominations that won this month and this past month in September. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Presley. Keep all this good stuff coming. All right. So our next segment we are moving on to is our featured location in the United States. And this was very popular last time. Last month, we actually did it on Ohio, which is where our offices are based. And I'm joined by my colleague today, our Director of Marketing, Kelly. And she is going to share some information about the state of Indiana. And so make sure you're posting your comments in the chat. I know there's probably interest in a lot of different states, so feel free to post states that you are interested in hearing more about. Maybe we'll get to them in one of our upcoming segments. And we'll continue to go through and try to answer your questions about life in the United States. So without further ado, Kelly, would you like to get started?
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm very happy to be here. Today, we're going to spend some time going over Indiana. So we decided to play a little fun game. We are going to test your geography skills here. So go ahead and put into the chat where you guys think Indiana is. Is it quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Oh, Felizardo is going to Indiana. That's exciting. Let's see here. Janice guess is 2. That is correct.
Yes.
That's the only guess we've got so far. Okay.
And then now moving on, it could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't think it's 4.
Probably not.
I don't think I see a correct guess yet. It's actually number 3. Yep. Thank you, ML.
ML got it.
There it is. That's Indiana on the map for you guys. Indiana is a Midwest state, and it's a region known for its friendly communities and strong work ethic. It's a central location in the United States, and it's often called the crossroads of America. I wanted to highlight a few nearby cities or states. So Indiana is a centrally located state, so it's nearby Ohio, which Erica mentioned is where we are all located. It's also near Illinois and Michigan, and then to the south we have Kentucky. So it's really greatly centered, like the Crossroads of America is the nickname. So that's a little bit about Indiana's location. Let's dive right into the climates. So Indiana is one of those states that gets to experience all 4 seasons. So starting up, we've got winter. Winter runs from December through February. And during this season, the average temperatures range from 20 degrees Fahrenheit to around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or that would be anywhere from -6 Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. Then let's see. So in the winter time, Indiana does experience moderate snowfall, especially in the northern parts closer to Lake Michigan. So you'll definitely see some lake effect snow. And if you do plan on going to Indiana, make sure you're prepared with warm clothes and sturdy boots. Winter in Indiana is also a great time to enjoy some outdoor activities like sledding and ice skating. And just like Ohio, the winters here aren't as extreme as they are in the northern states. So you don't have to worry too much about the cold. Okay, moving on. After winter, we have the beautiful spring, which is from March to May. So the temperatures really start to warm up during the springtime. The temperatures can range anywhere from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 65 degrees. And spring in Indiana is absolutely beautiful with blooming flowers and budding trees, especially in areas like Brown County State Park. It's definitely a perfect time to get outside, go hiking, visit some local markets, or attend some spring festivals. And don't forget your umbrella. Just like Ohio, it can definitely get rainy at times during the spring. So that's what we have going on in springtime. If you guys have any questions, feel free to add them to the chat and we will answer them as we go. Coming up next, we have summer, which is from June to August. And we definitely start to warm up a lot more in the summertime. Temperatures can get as high as around 85 degrees, sometimes a little bit higher. And summers in Indiana can get pretty hot and humid, particularly in July and August. So you'll definitely want to have sunscreen and make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And if you like to spend your time outdoors, you could, spend it visiting lakes. There's lots of outdoor concerts. I know I've been to a concert in Indianapolis once, beautiful city. So there's lots of things to do. And then lastly, we have fall, which is from September through November. And the temperatures range anywhere from around 45 degrees to as high as 65 degrees. And you'll definitely see a ton of vibrant colors during the fall time in Indiana, much like you will up across the Midwest. So it's a really beautiful time of the year. There's lots of activities around Thanksgiving or Halloween. There's pumpkin patches, apple picking, hay rides, and fall festivals. Very similar to Ohio, a lot of the Midwestern states have a lot of these things in common. I see Mati is curious about Evansville, so we will touch on that a little bit later when we talk about some of the nearby cities. So just to wrap up, Indiana does offer the full experience of all 4 seasons, from snowy winters to hot summers and everything in between. So compared to states like California, where the seasons are less defined, or New York, where winters can be much harsher, Indiana provides a nice balanced climate that's perfect for enjoying outdoor activities year-round. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so
Gladys, we're going to keep trying. I see you say that this has been lifting your morale and that you would like it done quarterly. We're actually going to try to do this monthly. That is our goal. So this is our second one. We did one last month, and this is our second one. Thank you for the feedback on that.
Yes, thank you, Gladys. Okay, so moving on to the culture and lifestyle of Indiana. You can see on the screen here, we have a photo of the Indiana State Fair, which takes place in Wayne, Indiana. Let's talk about the Midwestern hospitality. People here are known for being friendly, welcoming, and down to earth. So whether you're living in a city like Indianapolis or a quiet small town, Hoosiers, I think I'm saying that right, Erica? The Hoosiers?
Hoosiers, yeah.
Hoosiers, okay. as Indiana residents are called, or as they call themselves, they're always ready to help out or share a friendly conversation with a stranger. In Indiana, there is a strong sense of community, and that makes Indiana feel like home, especially for newcomers.
People are very friendly there. It's that classic like Midwestern hospitality.
Exactly. Yep. And Indiana also has a rich cultural heritage that comes alive through the state fairs, local festivals, and a deep connection to racing. So the Indiana is known for the Indy 500, which is a motor speedway venue where they host different races. I don't know a ton about it, but I know that there are a ton of race enthusiasts out there. So this is a great place to visit if you are planning on living here. This is a really great attraction for families and people of all ages. So Indiana is becoming increasingly diverse, particularly in cities like Indianapolis, which is home to a growing number of immigrant communities and multicultural neighborhoods. The city hosts a variety of international food and cultural fests throughout the year, celebrating their diversity. And this blend of cultures enriches Indiana's local communities and makes it welcoming places for people from all backgrounds. Indiana is also known for their work-life balance. So here you can see a family, hiking through one of our national parks. Compared to cities like New York or Los Angeles that might be a bit higher paced, Indiana's slower pace of life makes it easier to focus on what matters most. If to you that means spending quality time with family, enjoying nature, and pursuing your personal interests, then Indiana really is a great place for you. Also, the state's affordability means that it has less of a financial stress on you. So it really allows our professionals to enjoy their downtime and explore everything that the state has to offer. So to sum it up with the culture, Indiana is built on community, tradition, and diversity. There's endless opportunities to enjoy life beyond just work. So whether you're meeting up with new neighbors or attending a festival, Indiana really has something for everybody. All right, so moving on to the next section here, I wanted to cover some of the attractions. So this here pictured is Indiana Dunes National Park. It is on the southern shore of Lake Michigan, so it's more north, and it's a perfect place for hiking, bird watching, or relaxing on the beach. And yes, there are beaches in Indiana, despite not being by the ocean. The dunes offer stunning views, and the park is a favorite for both locals and out-of-town visitors. Another nature attraction in Indiana is Brown County State Park. And this is known as the Little Smokies. This park offers some of the most breathtaking foliage in the region. It's ideal for hiking, mountain biking, or just simply enjoying the scenic views. And then there's also Papacoda Lake.
It does look like potato at first glance.
Yes, it does. This is a hotspot for boating, fishing, and camping. It's also a great place to spend a summer weekend unwinding with your friends and family. Lots of outdoor activities here in the state of Indiana. And then we did mention it already, but I wanted to talk about it just a little bit more. The motorsports Indianapolis is home to the motorsports in the United States. So the Indy 500 is a world famous attraction. It draws in fans from all over the world. And if you're in Indiana during race season, you can attend the Indy 500. It's a must see. It's definitely a fun-filled family experience, filled with speed, excitement, and tradition. So I think that really captures the essence of Indianapolis in this photo right here. A couple of other fun outdoor things that you could do in Indiana. Here is the Holiday World and Splash and Safari. It's located in Santa Claus, Indiana, which I learned recently that Santa Claus, Indiana was a place, which is really cool. So this is an amusement park. It's a water park, and they have roller coasters. This is a great place for families, children, pretty much anybody. And then, to sum that up, let's see. actually, moving on, we have some sports. So I don't know how many sports fans we have on the webinar today, but Indianapolis has the Colts, which is their National Football League team. And they also have a few of other sports teams. They've got the Indiana Pacers for basketball. So whether you enjoy watching games live in the stadium, or you just want to like cheer from home or go to a local restaurant, there's definitely a lot to do for our sports fanatics out there. And then as far as like arts and cultural goes, Indiana has one of the most unique events called the Symphony on the Prairie at Connor Prairie, which is located in Fishers, Indiana. They feature live orchestral performances under the open sky. It's a perfect mix of culture and relaxation. And then one other highlight is the Edelgeorge Museum. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. I thought I had a photo of it, but I didn't add that. This is a museum that showcases the art, history, and the culture of the Native Americans and the American West. So that's another fascinating place that you can visit to learn all about Indiana's diverse heritage. Okay, so let's move on to the cost of living.
Yeah, I've seen some comments here. Ariel wants to know about the cost of living, housing, and apartments.
Perfect. Well, we will cover that. So this is going to be a big factor in helping you decide where you want to live, which is the cost of living. And one of the reasons Indiana is such a great option for healthcare professionals is that its affordability. So especially compared to some places maybe like New York, the affordability in Indiana is much lower. So we covered this last month, but the cost of living index is the relative number that each state is assigned. So you can see 100 would be like the national average, and Indiana comes in at 82, which is 18% cheaper than the national average. We like to pull in New York and California just for comparison to help our candidates kind of see the contrast between some of the Midwestern states and some of the more well-known states like New York and California. So you can see here the cost of living in both of those states is significantly higher. In terms of housing, so a one-bedroom apartment to rent on average is going to cost you around $900 a month in Indiana, which is pretty good. It's slightly lower than what we had for Ohio. And that's compared to around $3,500 a month in New York, or similarly around $3,300 a month in California.
That is crazy. I think that there should be like, I don't know, like confetti here, because that's insane, the difference in the rent from state to state, Kelly.
Yeah, and when it comes to groceries, Indiana also shines. So a gallon of milk is going to cost you around $2.40, and it's almost double that in New York and California. And then eggs is a similar story. So eggs are going to cost you, for a carton of 12 eggs, will be about $1.90 on average in Indiana. And then for transportation, unless you have an electric vehicle, you're going to have to fill up your gas with or your car with some gasoline. In Indiana, that's going to cost you around an average of $3.10 a gallon. And in New York, it will be closer to $3.90. And then in California, they are about $5 a gallon.
Amazing. They get a blue ribbon for the cost of living index.
They do. They certainly do. And then as far as, just wrapping up, well, I guess the last little category here is transportation. So if you do need to rely on public transportation, you can expect that to cost anywhere around like $50 a month, but I think that's going to be pretty tailored to what your specific usage is or what you need. But anywhere in Indiana, you can expect to pay maybe around $50 a month to utilize those bus and other public services. So to wrap it up, Indiana is really affordable, especially when comparing to New York or California. And much like the other Midwestern states, it's a really great place to live, and you'll get a lot more bang for your buck in Indiana. Oh, and then I did actually want to share with you. So I know we get a ton of questions for different cities or states. And so one of the resources that we recently released, which is now available on our website, is our location catalog or the location profiles. So I grabbed a quick screen recording to share with you guys how to access these location guides. You can just visit our website, passportusa.com, and then click on resources and locations. And then from here, you can use the search feature, or you can just start browsing. And here you can see I searched Indiana. And so I think most of the cities that are available, depending on, like, you'll have to talk with your current assignee to see where we currently have job orders. But you can see I'm able to locate Indianapolis, and we have a dedicated page for Indianapolis to share with you everything about an overview of the city, the cost of living, weather, transportation, attractions, and then the schools. So this is what I wanted to highlight specifically here. This state has, or this city specifically has a ton of really great public schools, which is going to be a really important factor for those of you with children. And then we also kind of highlight some of the community aspects of each city. So Indianapolis specifically, which is the capital of Indiana, has access to a lot of outdoor activities. They get an A- for that. Access to parks, which I think we all discovered with the photos and the information I just shared. They also have a great nightlife if that's something that you're interested in. It's okay for retirees. It's a great place for young professionals. It's a great place for families, and then they get an A+ for diversity. So that's a really great, aspect of Indiana, and something that you could look into when you're doing your research on the different locations that you could potentially relocate to. So again, that's under our main website. If you just go to passportusa.com and then click on the resources tab and then locations. So that was all I had, Erica. So I wanted to, I'm here to answer any questions, but yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on the Indiana segment today. And that's a really great plug for the website. There is some really great resources on there, and we are listening to your feedback, and that's part of the reason that we have that now. So keep the good feedback coming. Check out the website for additional locations. And again, we are planning on doing these broadcasts every month. So I know it's a lot to cover, but we're going to try to highlight the major states where we have client locations and try to show you guys about the different geography and reasons why you'd want to live in different states in the USA. There's just so many of them. And so thanks for being on and listening today about Indiana. Our next segment is nursing in the USA, and I am joined by one of my colleagues. He's actually a nurse here, and he works on our clinical team at Healthcare Cell International. His name is Ryan Kiefer. Ryan, do you want to introduce yourself? I know you have a fun topic to go over today.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Erica, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Definitely an exciting time of the year here in the U.S. as everybody gets together, spends time with their significant others, loved ones, or just takes time to relax and be thankful for everything that they have. And so looks like my battery's running low because I've been sitting here for a sec, but just to kick things off here, wanted to touch base and talk about some of the clinical aspects of, working in the United States and how we can, help to support everybody as they embark on their transition of their nursing practice to the U.S. And so, really what we wanted to focus in on today is the assessment aspect of nursing, right? So your patient assessment skills and how important those are and how impactful they are to positive patient care outcomes. And so the assessment, as you know, with the nursing process is the first step, and the rest of the nursing process doesn't happen unless you have that assessment completed at first. And so, with that comes the skills and knowledge and practice you need to be able to perform an accurate patient assessment. It's really important, and we focus in a lot on preparing our nurses for the assessment aspect of their skills when they get to the U.S. because it's responsible for collecting that real-time data and applying the nurse's critical thinking skills. So not only do the clinical skills you use come into play, assessing the patient, but also your critical thinking skills, understanding what it is that you are assessing, so then you can put into place the right diagnosis, planning, implementation, and then follow-up evaluation further on in that patient's care. And so as you gather that data, the stage can be, significantly impact the patient's health outcomes. So aside from evaluating the exact condition that prompted that patient to seek medical care, throughout the assessment, you're also looking and possibly identifying other aspects and care needs that that patient has that they may not have presented with originally. And so they, finally, kind of just sum that up, right? So the nurse's role in the United States is to be an advocate for their patient. That not only is, speaking on behalf of the patient for the concerns that they have, educating them and providing them and their families education on the care that they're receiving, and looking out for their best interests, but also, understanding what it is that you're seeing in the patient. Recognizing the changes in care that they need and communicating these effectively to the physicians and the rest of the care team, which could include respiratory therapists, medical technicians, speech therapists, occupational therapists along the way. The nurse is advocating those things too and communicating those to those professionals to continue to progress and advance the patient care. And so some of the equipment that you might encounter that is definitely good to review and be familiar with as you start your career here in the United States would include things like a stethoscope, really understanding the functions and purpose of a stethoscope, pen lights for your neuro checks, manual blood pressure cuffs, automated blood pressure cuffs, automated vital sign machines where you can then obtain pulse oximetry, patient temperatures, thermometer probes, rectally. And then the big one is, charting, right? So part of your assessment, right, is then documenting everything that you've assessed and gathered for that patient's care. And so without any documentation, nobody really can share that information across the care team, which again makes up your nurses, physicians, and therapists. And so understanding the documentation best practices is extremely important. So whether that's electronic medical records, good old-fashioned pen and paper documentation and charting, it's important to really know that that is a large time-consuming portion of what nurses do, aside from the direct patient care, but also ensuring that all of their assessment data that they've been collecting through a 12, 10-hour shift is being accurately documented so that the physicians and all the other professionals can then go in and see, track and trend, and ensure that the patient care that's being delivered is being prescribed effectively. And then finally, a huge part of the assessment process is the interpretation of different values, whether it's laboratory values, so being aware and focused in on what the normal lab values could be for patient's blood work, urinalysis, ABGs, the different lab values that are collected, but then also EKGs and imaging reports, really being familiar with the vocabulary and rate and rhythm interpretation if that's something that is in your specialty of nursing, whether that's telemetry nursing, step down, critical care or emergency. Understanding those values is extremely important as well. And then finally, your protective equipment, right? So understanding your use of the PPE and ensuring that while you're assessing the patient and providing your care, that you are doing it safely and in accordance to whatever PPE is required for that patient. And so it's never too early to really start preparing for your journey to the U.S., undertaking a lot of the roles and responsibilities that U.S. nurses take on and sort of bear the weight of in their practice every day. And so through that, Health Carousel has developed our transition to practice curriculum. So all of the online available coursework that gets assigned to you prior to your arrival includes courses and trainings that are designed to focus in on not only assessment, but other important nursing skills and practice to help familiarize you with the U.S. healthcare environment. And so we always strongly encourage to take advantage of that online learning management system, but not only through the assigned curriculum and your to-do items, but when that gets assigned to you, you also have access to the entire library of course and content through that online learning management system. And so there's over 10,000 courses focused in on nursing and healthcare skills and practices to help you familiarize yourself with the U.S. healthcare environment. And so we really encourage taking advantage of that. It's a great place to gain CE credits for licensure and licensure renewal here in the United States, but also just good refreshers with the best practice updates of any of the skills that you need that are applicable to your nursing profession and the specialty where you operate. And so, but not only that, you always have myself and our other internal clinical team here. We are your clinical support members, your advocates, your career coaches. And so if you ever have any questions, as you prepare to make your journey here to the US with any of the trainings that you're completing, any of the information that you're reviewing, or even once you arrive, certainly you can reach out to your advocate, your IES, your IDA, whoever it is that you are working with Health Carousel, and just say, hey, I would love to speak to your clinical team. I have some questions related to my online trainings or just some clinical questions that I would love to review. And we can certainly jump on a call to see how we can continue to support your journey because, I've worked here at Health Carousel for over 6 years now. And so I have focused a lot of that time supporting our international nurse that we have here. And so I love the journey that everybody just embarks on and coming to the United States. And, I know it's a lot and I can't even imagine, kind of going through that myself. And so we want to be a support to you and make sure that at least the clinical transition of your practice goes as smooth as possible. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to being here to support you through your entire journey.
Thanks, Ryan. And yes, like Ryan said, I just want to add on to that because from a recruitment perspective, I'm our director of recruitment and programs. Some of the biggest questions we get when we're first starting to talk to a nurse about their journey and coming to the United States is like, how will you support me once I'm in the United States? Like there's a lot of training. What's the training like? What's the orientation like? And, what happens if I fail? What happens if I'm not successful? And you guys are there I know sometimes it's thankless, but you guys are there to support our nurses and you guys have calls with them every single day. So ones that are on assignment that may be struggling to integrate or struggling with some transition to practice or need some additional support or resources, you guys are putting in the work to support them. And we're so thankful for you guys. And so everyone on the call, you can know that you're going to have Ryan on your side or someone from his team that's going to be there if you are having any issues. And like he said, you can reach out to us anytime. So thank you for joining us today, Ryan.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Erica.
All right, everyone. Without further ado, I am going to be joined by my colleague, Miss Elizabeth McCullough. She is our Director of Immigration, and she's going to go over fun stuff today, the visa bulletin for December. And if you have any questions about immigration stuff, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll try to get to some of your questions as well. Elizabeth.
All right. Thank you, Erica. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am here as the Associate Director of Immigration and Licensing to talk about the December Visa Bulletin for 2024. I know many of you have been on the journey for a while and you may be very familiar with the Visa Bulletin, but I figured I would start with a little crash course on how to read it. You find it on the Department of State website. A simple Google search, just type in December 2024 Visa Bulletin and it'll be the first link that pops up, Department of State. There's multiple charts involved, so you need to scroll until you find an employment-based chart for Chart A, Final Action Dates, and this is going to be the Visa Bulletin. And what do these numbers represent? That is your priority date. You receive a priority date once your I-140 petition has been filed with USCIS. The date that it was filed, the date that they received the petition is your priority date, and that is your place in line. So then you want to refer to that priority date against this visa bulletin chart. For our registered nurses, you are going to be in the EB3 category, and it's broken down by your country of birth. Important to note that is your country of birth, not your current country of citizenship if you happen to have a different citizenship from where you were born. So you're going to look in the EB3 column that is highlighted in the red box, and you're going to look for your country of birth. So 4 countries specifically are called out: China, India, Mexico, Philippines. And then the all chargeability area, except those listed, is all other countries. Important to note, the government fiscal year starts on October 1st. So recently we received a whole new allotment of numbers, and that advanced the numbers a little over a year. But since October, we haven't seen much movement. Comparing November to December, the priority dates have remained the same except for EB3 India. India advanced by 7 days. Now, this is not to be discouraging. This is kind of expected based on, conversations that we're hearing from the Department of State. They are going to be doing slower implementation so that they don't run out of visas, available visas, like they did last year. So it's just to keep it a little bit more streamlined and hopefully a little bit more efficient. But all chargeability, Mexico, and the Philippines all have what would be a priority date of November 15th, 2022. So each visa bulletin is issued about the middle of the month before the next month. So December came out in the middle of November, about 2 weeks ago. So January's visa bulletin will be released in the middle of December. So we just keep a close eye on it, constantly monitoring it, and looking for advancements. But for now, the numbers hold steady at November 15th, 2022 for most everyone. China is April 1st, 2020, and India will be November 8th, 2012. So I will be on here to answer any immigration questions you have. Just drop them in the chat, and Erica and I will go through any questions you have. But other than that, happy Thanksgiving. Doesn't take a holiday to remember to be grateful for something. And I will talk to you soon.
Wait, I'm going to actually ask you a few questions here because I've got a lot of stuff in the chat. But the first one I want to ask you is just, can you explain how someone gets a priority date, like what a priority date is? Because I think just a little basic background here is helpful.
Yeah, so the priority date is going to be the date that USCIS receives your I-140 immigrant petition. So when you sign on with Health Carousel, we collect documents, and you work with your assignee on providing the required documents. And then once we have everything we need to file that immigrant petition, the legal team will prepare the case and review it, sign it, send it off to USCIS, Citizenship Immigration Services. And then once USCIS receives it, they receive it in their mailroom, it gets stamped with a date, and that will be your priority date.
So chronologically, my priority date needs to be on or before the one set by the visa bulletin for it to be current. Yes. I know a lot of people on here probably know that, but some, it's kind of just good review. And so what happens then when I am retrogressed? Does my immigration just stop, or what continues to happen there?
Yeah, so when you're retrogressed, it's a waiting game, but things continue to progress. USCIS is going to, approve the petition. USCIS is the one that does the I-140 adjudication, the decision making on the I-140 petition. And once it has been approved, then they send it over to the National Visa Center, the NVC. And so what the embassy is going to do is they're going to receive it and then hold on to it. We're going to be collecting documents for you or from you, like birth certificates, marriage certificates, police certificates. And during that process, while you're retrogressed waiting for the National Visa Center to send your complete case over to the embassy for an interview, you'll be continuing to work on any requirements that you need for passing English, collecting documents that might be a little bit more difficult. If your passport's expiring, making sure that you're renewing your passport. So when your priority date is current, you're ready to go to your interview. You'll be wanting to continue to keep up your clinical skills and working and keeping up on your resume, and working on preparing for and interviewing with clients so that you have gotten a client assignment in the US for when you're ready to attend your interview.
Those are all really good points. I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think it's easy to get kind of complacent when it is retrogression. You're like, well, there's no rush. Why am I doing this? It's going to be a long wait. But the bottom line is, every month the visa bulletin comes out and you don't know when your date will be current. So being as prepared as possible is really important. And your English exam is obviously one of those. It's a tough one, but you want to get that underway, get your visa screen certificate and the NVC documents, getting documentarily qualified. You're basically there just waiting for your embassy interview to be scheduled when your priority date becomes current. So I've been with Health Carousel International for over 11 years now. And during my time here, the majority of the years that I've worked here, there's been a state of retrogression. You know, it got current for a couple years during COVID because there were some extra visas to be used, but that's not the norm. And so I think that for a lot of people on the call, I want to encourage you guys, this is extremely normal. There are only a certain number of visas allotted per year, like Elizabeth said, and someone mentioned the current administration and Trump becoming president, and I know a lot of people are stressed about that. One thing I want to bring up is that although he talks a lot about immigration, most of it is focused on the problem that we have with illegal immigrants in the United States, and that's very different than what we're doing here at Health Carousel. We actually recently went over some data, and every single administration for the last, I think we looked at it for the last 20 years, every single administration, even when Trump was in administration before, all of the visas that were allotted were utilized. So you don't need to worry about the current administration. The visas are going to continue to be issued. We do need nurses in the United States, and the administration we have right now and the new one is aware of that. So you guys will eventually make it here. I know that it is discouraging. I don't want to take that away from you, but like Elizabeth said, keep up the faith and think about, and I hope that most of you were on to hear Emmanuel's testimony. I really think that was one of the greatest things that you could have heard today. It was kind of a gift. You know, he was waiting since 2009 to get to the United States. That's a long time. And so he was probably one of the nurses that got recruited when I started here and had to wait because of the retrogression that was in place. And I don't believe that any of you will have to wait that long. We're seeing it move quicker than it was when he first joined our program. But just know that we've never abandoned a nurse. So we are here by your side to support you as you go through this process. Continue to do the things that you can do every single day. Every single day, do the next step and the next step and the next step to get you to where you want to be. And focus on the positive stories of the people that you see arriving, because people do continue to arrive. We continue to have arrivals and visa approvals and embassy interviews every single month. It's just that you sometimes have to wait a little bit longer. So I think we covered most of the questions that were in here. If you have any more immigration questions, make sure you're still dropping them in the chat. Either your current associate will reach out to you, or maybe we'll get to them at the end. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us and for your expertise today. And I think next we're going to talk about PTE scores. So everyone's probably heard of the new exam, the PTE. It's been out for a couple years now. It's definitely gained momentum and popularity, and we've seen probably the majority of our candidates are utilizing it now. And you probably saw the newsflash that CGFNS released in October that starting December 1st of this year, 2024, the minimum score for speaking is increasing from 50 to 63. Reading, writing, and listening are all remaining the minimum of 50, and the overall score requirement is going to be the minimum of 55. So this, I know it's a little bit disheartening or scary if you're kind of in the middle of practicing for PTE. Please don't be afraid. This is very much in line with the other tests, as well as global expectations of the proficiency that you need in the United States for your English. So visa screens that are ordered on or before November 30th will follow the old score requirements. So if you already passed and have the old score requirements and you order it before November 30th, you will go through with that. If your visa screen is ordered on or after December 1st, it will have your English proficiency, your PTE will have to adhere to the new score requirements regardless of your actual test date. So I know that you guys might have questions about that. Your international program associate or international deployment advocate can answer any questions you have. We have an amazing English proficiency manager, Miss Lauren Williams, who's on our team that helps support you guys through this. So regardless of what test you choose to take, we're going to help guide you through that. Make sure that you have the study resources necessary. If you need a conversation partner to help with your English speaking confidence, no worries. We're on it. We're going to help you guys out with that. I know it's a challenge, but we're here to help you get through. So if you have any questions, reach out. And let's see here. What is next? So we just recently had our first Nursing Careers Week here at Health Carousel International. It was very exciting. We want to just do a big shout out to celebrate. If you missed Nursing Careers Week, don't worry. You can still access all the fantastic sessions on demand by visiting our Nursing Careers Week website, which I believe the website is there posted. There's tons of valuable content for nurses at all stages and careers, including tips on transitioning in the United States, professional development opportunities, and inspiring success stories. And I just want to do a plug that, you know, once you're in the United States, kind of like you just talked to Ryan, we have so many opportunities for you to excel in your career here in America. You know, I've talked to so many nurses in my career here, in my time here, that are frustrated in the countries that they're in because they feel like there's no way for them to move up. They don't feel appreciated. They feel underpaid. They feel undersupported. And in the United States, it's very different. It is one of the top careers in America, and there's so many places for you to go. You know, once you finish your first assignment with Health Carousel International, you actually have the opportunity to go through our scholarship program. You could obtain your master's degree, your nurse practitioner degree, your doctorate in nursing practice. The sky is really the limit as a nurse in the United States. There's so many different career options. You're very supported. And so I'm putting that plug out there for Nursing Careers Week, probably more than what you asked for, but all good, encouraging stuff to know. Let's see here. What is our next segment? Is this, our Q&A. So we are wrapping up now. And so I think we've answered a lot of questions that were in the chat as we have gone along. Let me see here. Grace, does Passport USA sponsor nurses to prepare and write the NCLEX? Yes, we do. We have our Aspire program, and we've supported nurses for the last decade with writing and passing their NCLEX. So if you have a friend, you know, or someone that's interested, feel free to send their information over, and we will talk to them and see if they qualify for our program. What if we've already given our language test and submitted? As I had stated previously, if you took PTE and you already passed PTE under the old requirements, as long as you get your visa screen ordered before November 30th, which is coming up very quickly, then you will be able to use your old score requirements. However, if you order your visa screen after December 1st, your old scores will not count. You'll have to take the test again. Let's see here. Please, can the upgrade of PTE by CGFNS affect the applied various states, or it only applies to CGFNS? I'm not really sure exactly what that one means. It is an overall requirement by CGFNS, so it's not going to matter the state, because you have to have a visa screen certificate to get to the United States. So it's kind of like trumping everything. It's probably the wrong word to use. It kind of is above and beyond the states at this point. It's required by CGFNS. All right. Thank you for the encouragement, Tian. I am definitely hoping for the best for all of you. And again, I know it's easy for me to say because I am here, but I promise you, I've been through this with a lot of you, and we're not gonna abandon you during this time. So keep on being patient and waiting. We're not that retrogress. I'm hoping that a lot of you will be arriving next year and the year after. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for the encouragement, Jocelyn. Many of us have been current for over 2 months in Nigeria. Yaman, I understand, and I know that it's frustrating in Nigeria, and we've been doing the best that we can. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of influence over the embassies in Nigeria, and sometimes they get backlogged. Maddie, hi, what is the pros and cons of EB3 versus H-1B visa? Oh, Elizabeth, you popped back on and just in time to answer this question. You want to take this one?
Yes, I can take this one. So for our registered nurses, the requirement for an H-1B is that the position itself requires a bachelor's degree. It's a specialty occupation visa. And so the position itself has to require a bachelor's degree or higher, and the hiring practices of the client also needs to reflect that they're only hiring bachelor's degree and higher. And so the nursing requirement within the United States is typically an associate's degree, which is lower than a bachelor's degree. So right now, registered nurses are not eligible for the H-1B, and they can only kind of fall into the EB3 category at this time. So unfortunately, maybe one day that will change. But for now, registered nurses generally are not eligible for the H-1B visa.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a tough one to navigate. And I know it's grown in popularity because everyone's, freaking out about retrogression, but it's still EB3 is really the best path right now. Let's see here. ML, what happens if your priority date is current? You get everything ready and done, except that you got sick and didn't pass your medical test and need to recuperate for a while. Will your visa get abandoned? Elizabeth, do you want to answer that?
No. So if your case is put in administrative processing because of missing your medicals, it'll just be an administrative processing until you're able to provide the medical requirement. If you need to continue to delay your embassy appointment, then in general, you have about a year from when you become current to when you need to attend your embassy interview. But there are ways, you continue to reach out to the embassy and letting them know that you're still interested in pursuing, but except for certain requirements that you're currently unable to meet. So you can keep your case open. It won't get abandoned. Now, if you stop communicating with the embassy, stop communicating with us so that we can advocate on your behalf to the best that we can, then the case may be abandoned by the embassy, but that would not be the end of your journey. There are ways that we can get you, back up and going. Once you're ready, we can file a new I-140 petition if required or if necessary, and we can recapture that priority date. So, if you're in that position, continue to communicate with the embassy so that they know to keep your case open and that you're working towards it to meet all the requirements.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And there's one more I'm going to answer quick before we wrap up. Angela asked about her priority date being March 29th, 2024, and being an international nurse in the UK. Angela, your priority date is always based on the country you were born in. So I don't know if you were born in the UK, your priority date would fall under the rest of world chargeability. category. But if you were, say, born in the Philippines or born in India, then it's going to go by the country you were born in and not the country you live in, unfortunately. So again, thank you guys so much for your questions today. I hope we answered most of them. If we did not answer your question, please reach out to your IPA or your IDA. If they don't know the answer, they're going to reach out to Elizabeth or myself or their manager, and we'll make sure that we get you the information that you need. We want you to always feel supported. We are holding your hand through this journey. That is what our jobs are about here. And we're very thankful. Again, the theme of today, we're very thankful to be able to support you. And I know I personally find a lot of fulfillment in being able to help you guys and successfully get you here to the United States and start your career in America and improve your lives and your family's lives, and all of our lives here as you improve healthcare in the United States. So thank you so much for being with us today.